Zimbabwean commentator Rutendo Matinyarare has never shied away from provocative political commentary, from calling certain African presidents dictators to pushing unverified claims online. His recent TikTok video about Cape Independence raises questions of accuracy, intent, and the impact of such messaging. Now, for a detail of the story, watch the video till the end. Let's discuss this today.
So much fun, guys!
What's up, guys? Welcome to my YouTube channel, The Foreigner. Yeah, well, yes, I am a foreigner from East Africa, Uganda. This is Uganda, guys, and I do vlogs about foreigners. I do vlogs about current affairs, reaction, and sometimes, because we're in an election season in Uganda, I do vlogs also about election campaigns. And this is usually I would prefer to do only vlogs about my my favorite candidate, who is none other than General Yoweri Museveni. So if you see me sometimes do different videos, yeah, just accept it, learn a thing or two. Now, guys, today we're going to talk about Rutendo Matinyarare Benson. Now, Rutendo Matinyarare is a political analyst who has lived in South Africa for nearly 2 decades or more than 2 decades. But he originated from Zimbabwe. He's a Zimbabwean citizen. And actually, he is so vocal about it. He talks about it. He lets people know that he is a Zimbabwean who has lived in South Africa for quite some reasonable time. Now, Rutendo Matinyarare, being a political analyst, has always been talking about political affairs on the African continent and also on international stage. Now, he's been famous for bashing African leaders, especially a certain class of African leaders. For example, His Excellency Paul Kagame. He calls him a dictator on several occasions or on several instances. I don't know much he has talked about President Museveni of Uganda, but I know he brands our leaders as dictators when he is coming from Zimbabwe but has lived in South Africa, and then he tries to portray himself as somewhat a South African citizen, or I do not know what to say. But firstly, I would say when I was in South Africa, I used to follow him, and I used to follow his comments about foreigners and Operation Dudula, and how Operation Dudula mistreats foreigners based on Rutendo Matinyarare. Now, because I was an illegal immigrant in South Africa, of course I used to support him and love him until I listened to his analysis when he was portraying the Rwandan president, a Ugandan president, and also another East African president as dictators. Now I started my love for his analysis or his comments started fading away. Now today, he's been making rounds on the internet. His video has been making rounds on the internet, especially on TikTok, as he was giving his conspiracy theories again about the Cape Independence, and also commenting on Operation Dudula and the alleged funders of Operation Dudula. Now, personally, I don't 100% agree with Operation Dudula much as I believe I understand where they're coming from. I also I agree with what they're aiming at. If they're fighting for against unemployment and the employment of foreigners at the cost of citizens, then I resonate with them. But sometimes when they go extremely radical, then I disagree with them. So now, Firstly, I want to play you a video of Rutendo Matinyarare, what he says about Operation Dudula, and who he alleges are the funders of Operation Dudula, or the funders of the leaders of Operation Dudula. Firstly, having watched my videos of Operation Dudula and the top leadership of Operation Dudula allegedly being immigrants themselves, now I want you to listen to Rutendo Matinyarare's take on Operation Dudula, and then later we're going to break down his conspiracy theories. And this one is a big one. You know, guys, we shall talk about Cape Independence and what it is about, even when I don't know the details, but I'm going based off of Rutendo Matinyarare's allegations. Then we're gonna make a story. Make sure, guys, you subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Hit the notification button, comment respectfully. Just be human. You don't have to praise me, you don't have to hide your opinions. Just be human. Don't be abusive and disrespectful. Watch the video till the end. Let's listen to Rutendo Matinyarare.
I know that it's unlawful for us to be asking for documents. We don't have the right to do it, but because you as a law enforcer, you are there to just monitor the situation. Why don't you just do it? Because that's also part of your job.
But you are admitting that it is unlawful.
Yes, it is unlawful because we are not officials. We are not immigration officers.
For many months, I've been saying that Zandile and Dudula are breaking the law. They're breaking the South African Constitution and breaking international human rights law by denying people healthcare and asking people for their documents. And here she is, admitting on her own that she knows that it is a crime. She knows that this is against the Constitution to go and ask people for their papers. She also knows that she's committing a crime against humanity by denying people healthcare. She's admitting to a premeditated crime. So why hasn't she been arrested?
There you have it, guys. As a foreigner, as once a foreigner in South Africa, now I feel excited about these two individuals. Both of them are allegedly immigrants. Actually, for the lady, Zandile Dudula is allegedly a Zimbabwean who claims to be South African. And now for the gentleman, he's proudly saying, he proudly talks about it, that he is Zimbabwean. Now these two individuals are all fighting over South Africa. Oh my God. I mean, guys, we all know, it's public knowledge. It's internationally known that South Africa is the most developed country, is the most economically secular country on the continent. So we all understand, we all know why most of the African people, or most of the people globally, like to go to South Africa. They love South Africa because it's a nice country, free country, developed country. I mean, infrastructure, everything seems very good in South Africa. So it makes sense when someone loves South Africa that much. But when you see two Zimbabweans fighting over South Africa, it's crazy, man. I can never be in that WhatsApp group. Now Zandile Dudula is admitting that it is criminal for her to Dudula foreigners and deny them health care and deny them a chance to work, because firstly she doesn't admit that she is a foreigner. That's another story for another day. Now someone who is bringing her on the spot is a foreigner from Zimbabwe. Oh my God, guys, this is getting worse. I know it's supposed to be it's getting worse, but I mean, because of the gist of the story, we have to make it worse, man. So now Rutendo Matinyarare from Zimbabwe is calling on law enforcers to arrest a sister from Zimbabwe who is technically or logically involved in crimes in South Africa. Remember, both of them are in South Africa. Now, guys, that's not the main the main sorry, guys. That's not the main reason for this video. Watch the video till the end, and when I return, we're gonna talk about the Cape Independence, where Rutendo Matinyarare, a Zimbabwean living in South Africa, is trying to seem like he's defending South Africa to avoid Cape Independence, when South Africans themselves, the citizens who should care much about their country and Cape Town and and avoid Cape Independence, they're not talking about it because they know the truth. Now let's listen to this conspiracy theory, and then when I return, I do a reaction.
And Dudula are breaking the law. They're breaking the South African Constitution and breaking international human rights law by denying people healthcare and asking people for their documents. And here she is, admitting on her own that she knows that it is a crime. She knows that this is against the Constitution to go and ask people for their papers. She also knows that she's committing a crime against humanity by denying people healthcare. She's admitting to a premeditated crime. So why hasn't she been arrested? She hasn't been arrested because she's undertaking a crime for Zionists that want to take over South Africa. But she's not the only one who's been paid. Gayton Mackenzie has been paid. People within the police force have been paid. That's why she's not being arrested. People in the police force who brag about working with private security companies that have already been said are working to overthrow the government of South Africa from the Western Cape have been paid. And have you wondered why MK and EFF are saying nothing about Cape independence? Many people have been paid. Many people are in the agenda. That is why so many white people are coming into Western Cape illegally and getting legal documents illegally and corruptly in the Western Cape. They're also being allowed to bring in weapons and arms because the takeover of South Africa has already been paid for, and many South Africans are
so articulate. You would be persuaded to follow him and like what he says or believe what he says. Because now, based on what he says, you see, Operation Dudula is a pressure group or a patriotic group in South Africa or movement that aims at emphasizing employment of of citizens by kicking out foreigners who are employed in South Africa. But they do this only on black foreigners, on black immigrants. But even if they go to Cape Town, they will never chase out white foreigners. Because now, I mean, there is a big fear for white people in South Africa. Very big fear. Very big fear. I mean, I know based on the background or the history of South Africa, of the apartheid regime where there was segregation between the two races, black and white, and also the Indians. So you can pretty much understand maybe the trauma is still on or something of that sort. So you really understand. But if Dudula says, or Operation Dudula says, they are patriotic, they are non-discriminatory, or they are patriotic, like they fight for their country or for the country's interest, why are they segregative? Why are they only serious with black immigrants or black foreigners in South Africa? Now, I could give credit to Rutendo Matinyarare for pointing that out, but that shouldn't be the base or the foundation for him to bring out a conspiracy theory about the stories of Cape Union. So when I checked out on the internet about the Cape Union, yeah, it's a truth. There is a movement, or there is also a political party that is fronting this idea. Now, Cape Union pretty much means there's 9 provinces or districts in South Africa, and Western Cape is one of the 9. So Cape Town, one of the most beautiful cities in Africa, is located in the Western Cape, or in the Western province of Western Cape. So the Cape Union, the Cape Independence actually is of an idea that Cape Town, or the Western Cape province, should be independent of South Africa, should be an independent country because of so many reasons. They blame the government for not equally sharing the national resources, for not developing the country. They are blaming the government for failure to work. So hence they want to be independent of the government so that they can improve themselves. But the majority of the people in the province of Western Cape are white people, are white South Africans. I would say that they are white South Africans. So the idea has been brought to the table. So many people, you can see protests, you can see videos of people chanting Cape Independence with placards, with billboards, posters saying Cape Independence is gonna come. I mean, That's a story for South Africans to decide, because the Cape Independence Party or the Cape Independence movement says they want to achieve their goal through a referendum. So I mean, that's obvious. South Africans will have to decide about that. So why does a foreigner like Rutendo Matinyarare come in to be an eye-opener or whistleblower for South Africans? Because firstly, I mean, if you look at Zimbabwe is a neighboring country to South Africa. If you see how struggling Zimbabwe is, you would think Rutendo Matinyarare would use his articulate information or political analysis or political knowledge to advocate for peace in Zimbabwe, for development or for the boost of economy in Zimbabwe, than using that energy far away from home. I mean, I once talked to my Zimbabwean brothers when I was living in South Africa, and I was questioning them about Rutendo Matinyarare because he seems like a very smart man, very patriotic, but he's using his patriotism in South Africa instead of using it in Zimbabwe. Now, some of them, they told me, no, that guy is being paid by the government, he is a misleader, he is a naysayer, he's a conspiracy theorist, which I think is the truth of the matter. Because now, if you're so patriotic to South Africa, isn't that paying allegiance to a wrong country? Because now, he is so loyal to South Africa that even South Africans question his loyalty. Because, I mean, how can you love someone else's mother more than you love your own mother? Because, I mean, he is from Zimbabwe. He should have used that voice or his political skills to condemn the economic sanctions on Zimbabwe. I mean, he should have been on so many bigger platforms, or even South African platforms that he uses to speak about the Cape Independence, Operation Dudula. But to me, I think he's misusing his talents. He's misusing his high level of political analysis, because he's using it in a wrong way. He's using it in a wrong country, because South Africa has South African citizens to defend their country. Now, if Zimbabweans are defending South Africa, then who is going to defend Zimbabwe? I don't know if I'm making a point, but one thing I know for sure, Rutendo Matinyarare is not made sure. He's been on so many podcasts. The other one is the Penny Black Show, the Penny the Black Pen, yeah, the podcast, and he was talking the same story. He was so articulate in opposing Operation Dudula, which could sound as something right, but if you cannot do the same thing, if you cannot be so vocal for your own country, then to me that sounds like you're wasting your abilities. Because if you can be, let's say, a good athlete, a good soccer player, a good runner in a foreign country, I would think you would rather do it in your own country and then bring your country on the international stages. I mean, make your country proud of you. Because now, I don't think South Africans are proud of him, because they already know he is a Zimbabwean. And now even Zimbabweans are not proud of him, because what he's fighting for is in a foreign country. Now, for Rwandans who hear him call their leader a dictator, I mean, I know for sure Rutendo Matinyarare would be scared to go to Rwanda. And maybe for Uganda he can easily come, but also he will be under surveillance, because he talks a hateful message about our leaders, which we don't appreciate him for. Now, in closure, guys, I would like you to tell me what you think about the story. Actually, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification button, and tell me what you think about Rutendo Matinyarare. I know he could be portrayed as a hero for being bold, but I mean, he's using his heroic voice wrongly. He's using I think that even the Bible says you do the right thing at the right time. Now he's doing a right thing in a wrong place. He's doing nice activism in a wrong country, because his country needs his activism the most, because Zimbabwe has been struggling. I don't know how many times they've changed their currency from the Zim dollar, from the bond to the US dollar. They are struggling financially. There's also a story about the gold mafia, when the president of Zimbabwe was recorded smuggling gold, and then he was exposed on Al Jazeera, I think on also CNN. But you know what was crazy about the story? Rutendo Matinyarare himself, he came to defend the president even when there was evidence even when there was evidence of the president being involved in smuggling of gold of his own country. Imagine, the country is already struggling with economic sanctions. Now the president is smuggling gold. How sure are you that after smuggling gold, when he makes a business and sells out gold, how sure are you that he's going to use the money to develop his own country? I mean, if smuggling is the only way to help the country come out of sanctions, is it really? I do not know. You tell me in the comment sections. Anyhow, guys, in closure, I would like to say, you guys, you have to let South Africans be. You have to let I mean, we know Nigerians like South Africa, Ugandans like South Africa, everyone likes South Africa, but at some time, we have to be in a back seat and let South Africans drive their country to wherever they want to drive it to. During the apartheid days, where was Rutendo Matinyarare? Maybe he could have been younger or what, but now South Africans are old enough, they have a big population, they can fight for their country. In closure, I would like to say, as I usually say, you can doubt anything. You can doubt Rutendo Matinyarare, you can doubt me, you can doubt presidents, you can doubt whoever you want to doubt. But one thing for sure, God is great.